I mean, we got a hard cutoff.
Hey, you see me?
Hold on a second.
Hold on.
Ooh,
Let me come back. Well,
What'd you say?
It's the big show. You froze up for a second.
I messed this up?
No, Loso froze.
Oh, he's froze right now. Mine.
But you guys hear me though?
We can't hear you.
That's weird. All right, I'm gonna log back in.
No. Hold on. I think you're coming back.
It's a little weird like this with my hoodie on my headphones.
Man, for Father's Day, I got a lot of stuff. But I keep losing my mic or my whatchamacallit.
Trying to get the glare off this hat, but it's just gonna have to stay.
So for Father's Day,
I got something wrong.
I got this right here.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, and the stand. I didn't get a chance to set it up before we started tonight, but
barely.
I mean, Loso, I ain't gonna lie to you, man. I'm having the same issue too. Mine is acting a little funky.
Hey, I'm gonna log out and then add me back in.
Yep.
I bought my Yeti mic. I bought the display mic and they didn't have a stand with it, which kind of irritates me, but they gave me like 15% off.
Well, I'm wondering, in order to have the same setup as you, am I going to have to do the same thing? Like, am I going to have to take it off the stand to get it where I need to be?
I'm about to sell this one to Be Humble and get a condenser mic.
Oh, that's what's up.
Because I just realized, like, I can't rap into this one because it's not a condenser, and I want one that I can use, to rap in. I don't really want to buy two mics. So I'm just going to sell him this one for a little cheaper than what I bought it for. And then I'm going to buy a condenser mic.
Ricky, hopefully this is the actual video that just went live, but what's up? I feel like yep, there it is. There it is. What up, Ricky? Man, I forgot. My dad's gonna kill me because he's like, last time we went live. I
saw that.
You need to give us heads up. My bad. Oh, there goes Loso. Let's see. Embed. How do I share this video? I'm being real dense right now. There you go.
You guys hear me clear?
Not as clear as your victory over Loso. I mean, over JC, but
hey.
But am I good though? Can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. We good.
All right, I'm fine. Like, I don't need to put on any headphones.
Nah, you good.
As long as you can hear us.
Yeah, I'm good.
All right. Well, shoot. Let me get.
And that was a fire line. Hey, one, by the way.
I appreciate it. I try. All right. I wonder, can I see these?
Hey, before we go live though, I do want y'all to know.
Wait, we are live. We are live.
I'm about to tell you I have Summer Madness.
Hey, we'll save that surprise, until after the live stream is off. So, dang, I'm trying to see if I can see comments on this thing. All right, cool. Well, we're gonna get this party on the road, man. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to Facebook Live and YouTube. Welcome to the show that is Brains and Bars. You're tuned in to another episode of It's a Black and White Thing. I am your host, A1. You can call me Carlos. You can also call me Dan. You can check out every episode of It's a Black and White Thing by going to the podcast app of your choice, searching Brains and Bars, and following us there. If it's iTunes, please comment, give us 5 stars, and subscribe for all of the platforms. Please follow us there. Also, we are live on YouTube right now. And so if you would go search Brains and Bars on YouTube, hit that notification bell, subscribe, ding, so you can be in the know on all the latest content every time we go live on the channel or post new content to the channel. And you can follow us on 3 social media platforms: Facebook, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter by searching at Brains and Bars. So, again, as you can see, there are 3 people on the screen. And so I want to welcome into the show one of the founding members of It's a Black and White Thing. A Ward, how are you this evening, sir?
Doing wonderful, man. Not bad at all. I'm spamming all of the groups with our Facebook Live. So that's what I was occupied doing. But I'm having a great week. It's already Wednesday and looking forward to the weekend. And happy Father's Day to all of you all out there that we are a few days late. Happy belated Father's Day. I have a brother and a sister who have birthdays this week. Outside of that, shout out to my guy, Michael De Leon, who had a birthday yesterday. And shout out to my guy, K-Jack, who has a birthday today. So happy birthday to y'all. Appreciate you guys. And it's good to be back, man. Once again, absolutely. We got, fresh off of his magnificent victory over one of what people consider to be the best battle rappers in the world and of all time. Loso, thanks for being with us, bro.
Hey, man, thank you guys so much. Pleasure to be with y'all. And I'm excited, man. So, double everything that they've already said. Happy Father's Day to all the fathers out there. A1, happy Father's Day to you, bro.
Appreciate it.
And let's go, man. I'm ready to go ahead and talk.
Dope. So real quick, as you know, if you follow the show at all, you know that we start off each episode with what I've learned this week. And so I got a couple of things I learned this week, and I will be brief as we discuss these things. But the first thing I've learned this week, man, is I understand that, you football fanatics, this coronavirus is impacting our lives. And I said it before the show. I'm going to say it again. I am concerned that we are not going to have football this season, man. You look at college campuses across the country, players are returning back to prep and get ready for, the fall football season, and all across the country, Texas, LSU, what other places have been hit with coronavirus? It's been several universities.
K-State.
Yeah, everywhere, just about all these places where people have returned student athletes back to campus, they are testing positive. LSU had a breakout because they believe it started at a party that some of the kids went to. There's not going to be a way you're going to be able to keep people from going places. And if universities reopen, classes being open, I think some Tampa Bay Buccaneer coaches tested positive for COVID, man. So I just do not know how you're going to be able to have a season. And look, that extends to the NBA as well. I just saw Disney World has delayed their reopening of their facilities in part because of concerns of coronavirus. So I don't know how we're going to have sports in 2020. And, we'll see what happens in 2021. Shout out to baseball, which is trying to come back too. We'll see how that goes. So that's one thing I learned this week. Second thing I learned this week is a leftover from the quarterfinals of the Ultimate Madness tournament. Listen, Your Honor, how are you going to have a name Honor and not have any honor, right? So Your Honor loses to Rubando, quarterfinals. He does an interview, I think, with Hip Hop Is Real, 15 Minutes of Fame. Forgive me, I do not remember which. And he says that, well, I threw the battle, right? Because I had to go to rehab. And I'm just
No.
What? No. You can't be out here. If you knew you had to go to rehab and you knew you weren't going to be able to continue the tournament, you get with Smack, Beasley, let them know I got to step down. I'm not going to be able to continue, and let Rubando move on versus sitting there saying, well, I came with beatable material, light material. I thought I was up 2-0. Like, this helps. First of all, Rubando has enough problems just being Rubando right now. But it does not help to have the entire world see Rubando in this light where he barely beats Your Honor, and you had to choke in order for him to move on to the next round. Like, I love battle rap. Shout out to Nick from the dungeon. He always he hits me with the hashtag of perfect battle league. Yes, I want battle rap to be better. I think it should be better, and I think leagues and fans have to hold talent accountable when they mess up in order for battle rap to take the next step. So those are the 2 things that I've learned this week. Y'all can hit us up by going to @BrainsandBars, letting us know what you learned this week on Facebook, Instagram, or Twitter. So with that being said, I want to turn it over to A Ward. Sir, what are you looking forward to this week?
What am I looking forward to this week? So I'll give you one from each, one from sports and one for battle rap. The first one, and I guess technically it's in 10 days, but apparently the basketball tournament is supposed to start back. I think it's July 4th. So that is, that's something that I watched in the past, and I really enjoyed it with a lot of like alumni teams. Like Ohio State's got a squad that I think will have Aaron Kraft on it. You'll see Tony Roten play. You'll see Joe Johnson from the played, with the Hawks and the Nets playing. A lot of notable names. The kid from, do you remember Wofford? The kid that set the 3-point record for the NCAA that was like in the tournament. I think he went like 1 for 18 when he finally got to March Madness, but like all year he was hitting like ridiculous threes. Yeah, he's playing in it, and apparently he's been balling overseas. So if, in fact, it starts and it's successful, but like you said, with this new wave of COVID stuff pushing everything back, I'm not sure, then that's definitely something I'll be looking forward to sports-wise. And then battle rap-wise, drum roll, please. Pay Ward will be in full effect this weekend. If you're not familiar with Pay Ward, he's similar to Pay Verb, but he is a ward that gets paid to do battles in which you look at the flyer and say, why? So Pay Ward will be in full effect with his first ever audio battle this Saturday night. It will be done on Discord. It's with exclusive Battle League. I'll be battling a guy by the name of Allboro. That's Allboro. I'm joined on the flyer with my good friend Chilla Jones, who will be battling a guy by the name of Pickle Babe. So please stay in tune with my Instagram, my Twitter, my Facebook, and it's Bobbay. So I'm guessing it's Bobby or Babe. I don't know, but that's how it's spelled. But stay in tune with my social media, because what I want everybody to join this Discord. I'll be honest with you, they had 100 people in the chat for their last event. Don Marino battled on one of them. Danny Myers battled on one of them. So they have like this Discord of like 100 people watching, which is kind of cool. And I'll be battling Allboro Saturday night live. And Pay Ward's in full effect, man. So that's what I'm looking forward to this weekend.
All right, before I throw it to Loso, man, like, is the Wu-Tang name generator still around? Because I feel like you battle rappers need to hit this Wu-Tang name generator before y'all actually come up with some of these names, man. But anyway, I digress. Loso, what are you looking forward to, man?
Definitely some more information about what's going on in sports. I know at first I was very, very adamant when you said there was going to be no sports or no football this year. I was like, no, I reject that. I actually thought I was 100% sure that football was going to happen. College football, I don't know now. I'm at like a 40%. However, though, Adam Schefter did say that the NFL was almost positive that the season was still going to happen this year. And he just came out with that today. So I'm still hoping that they are going to have an NFL season. I don't know about fans being in there. At first, I was hearing season ticket holders can obviously get first dibs in. They were only going to do about 25% capacity to the stadium. So I'm hoping that's okay, because I actually have some Tampa Bay season tickets this year. And I need to see when Kirk Cousins comes into town and sets this place on fire with Justin Jefferson and Thielen. But
the Horsemen have season tickets, right?
Yeah.
Okay, I just want to make sure,
Hey, Pat Mahomes does come into town this year, bro. So.
Yes, that's a fact. So that should be fun.
And then obviously battle rap. I'm looking forward to this Discord battle, bro. With also, man. We got the tournament. We gotta see who joins the Gnome card, and I think it's gonna be a fire ending to this whole tournament, and who gets a shot at 25K. So I'm excited for that. And then on top of that, we're supposed to get Twerk and Swamp. So
it's the two semifinal matches, Twerk and Swamp. Is there another match?
Supposed to be Bad News and Kruger rescheduling. So
okay.
I don't know if that's gonna go down. But yeah. So Twerk and Swamp though is just now you just want to see. Like I feel like Swamp has positioned himself where he's clearly above everyone in his class as far as stock. But this is Twork's chance to kind of like put this mama mentality, like, yo, if I want to, I can end your career type of thing. Because Twork could. Twork can go in there and end all this talk. But if he does not only does Swamp get a W over Twork, but then he goes into the T-Top rookies versus vets with all this, hold on, I'm gonna say it, momentum. And then he even has a Tay-Rock battle scheduled right after that. So like Swamp at the end of this 3-battle deal with URL could probably position himself into like, I mean, hey, he could be creeping into top tier stat if he survives it. And all he has to do is just stay competitive in all 3.
This is all Ace Amin's fault. This is all Ace Amin's fault.
Ace Amin could have ended all this a long time.
Yeah, he should have. He had the material to do it.
But so I'm looking forward to that, man.
Shout out to Jada Nightwing in the chat on Facebook Live. Appreciate you tuning in, bro. Also, my homie Cody's in the building. Tavita, some others. I know Mark Peters mentioned earlier. He said JC learned this week on why you never leave Loso on red. So do not leave Loso on red. I'm rock with that, man.
Speaking of that, let's get into that, man. Let's quickly recap that battle this weekend. Loso versus JC went down this Saturday. I know for you it was a long time coming, right? I mean, you had it. Corona shut it down the first time. Then, you know, obviously the meme that happened with you and Smack happens a couple of weeks ago. Then it gets rescheduled and it finally goes down. 3-5 rounds, hey, Loso, JC gonna have your money, don't you worry. You know what I'm saying? So how did you feel about that battle, man, and the response to it thus far?
Yeah, I felt during the battle, I thought it was, I didn't know where it was because I don't really be listening to my opponent's material. That's why I have a straight face and I rarely give them any reaction. But Swamp at the end of the second round, actually, he's behind Smack and he looks at me and he says, 3-0. Like, he gives me a signal like, hey, wrap it up. Like, kill him this third round because it's going to be a clean sweep. And so I was like, all right, bet. And I knew when I was hearing JC's third and I knew my third, I was like, oh, yeah, I'm about to get through this. But the reaction, man, from it has been crazy. Even though a lot of people feel like this was an underwhelming JC performance, I think the beauty about the feedback is that everybody's just putting the narrative on my performance. They're like, yo, Loso, you killed it. Like, even if JC was at 10, we think it still would have been a fire battle. You know what I'm saying? And that's how, like, Emerson Kennedy, who, like, he's literally openly told me, he said, yo, I try to hate you. Like, I don't want, like, he literally told me that. He said, but bro, I don't think, this is exactly what he texted me. He says, I don't think your feet touched the ground one time during that performance. He said, you were floating. He said, like, you were just on 10. And so, obviously the text messages from your peers, and then obviously all the fans, it was humbling. It was dope. Even though I was putting in work, I don't know why, bro, but I felt like I needed that. I felt like I needed that win. And sometimes in your career you do, you know what I'm saying? You need something else to kind of like spark, get the wheel moving a little more. And so that's why I told everybody, I said, yo, I wasn't upset that JC backed out the first time because it's JC. That's not who, like, I just knew the material I had. Ward knew the material I had. People who were hearing me spar, they knew how much I wanted to get this material off. And so when I got a chance to do that, you saw the fruits of it.
Yeah, I'm glad that I'm glad that I feel like Loso knows when to take my advice and when not to take my advice, because I think it was like right after like I found out JC no-showed and I said, Loso, yo, spit those rounds right now. Tell Smack you want to get those rounds off right now on Caffeine Live, because I also was just like, yo, this is like he's no-showing. Obviously something's up with him because he's got this recent history of everything, like I already know the win was just taken out of Loso's sails. I think that's a phrase. Can you take the win? Isn't that a phrase? Mm-hmm. Okay, cool. I didn't just make up some random sailor phrase. But anyway, I knew that like when like after he no-showed, like he was just like how upset he was. And I was like, yo, people need to hear these rounds, And Loso, he kind of just kept his calm, whatever. Then he hit me like 3 days later, was like, yo, they want to reschedule it. And I was like, no. Once he said it was going to be a surprise battle, I'm like, cool. But I was like, yo, don't become like the laughing stock of battle rap and like them announce the battle again. You show up again and get no show to get, you know what I mean? And then it's like a narrative or whatever, you know? But yeah, but no, bro, once again, man, like you said, I heard the material, I knew the material. I wanted the world to hear it because I literally tweeted after he no showed that was like most complete battle that I thought you'd written, you know, just coming full circle from beginning to end. And like you mentioned earlier, and I think that's what I think that's the greatest thing is I'm so glad that the battle rap community, the media and everything has not ran with the narrative of, oh, JC's obviously off, you know, like, you know, whatever. They've really like bought into Loso's material, his performance, and he's really gotten the props that he deserved for that material, you know.
And the crazy thing is, though, I think they did that too because it was so catered for JC. Like if I was just a battle rapper that went up there, gun bar back and forth to him, or just random generalized name flips, like I think it would have got lost in what was occurring, and the narrative would have been shifted to, oh, he just didn't take it serious. But the fact that I was able to go ahead and create these angles and these personals for JC that gets the conversation going. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh dang, JC had a feature that he didn't do, and then that ties into, you know, why he's been backing out of battles. Then that ties into his whole matchup with Surf and Verb, and so like everything was tying together. And I think for the world, like what we kind of try to do, all 3 rounds came full circle, bro. And it was something that you could deliver to the fans, and the fans were able to digest it, and they were saying like, man, this was a good battle, and we can keep having this conversation afterwards. So yeah, I feel you.
Yeah, and I think there's some timeless material in that, you know, like not that I want, you know, but I mean, your second round, you know, in regards to what's going on with him in his life. And then now since, you know, with the blogs and the videos and the different things of, I mean, even Joe Budden tweeted today, like praying for JC. I hope he gets better. You know what I mean? Like, and I think that some of your material will really, you know, be kind of timeless in that aspect. So, man, once again, great job, bro. Jada Nightwing comments, he says he admires the streak that we both have and hope to emulate it. Salute to us both. Hey, bro, we appreciate that, man, heavily, man. Shout out to you, Jay, for real. And then I think Tracy just entered the chat. So thanks for joining us, Tracy, as well. So,
yep. And also from YouTube, Mr. Jukebox said, Loso, you killed it last weekend. So accolades coming from everywhere. All right, so let's stay on that battle rap tip, man. Let's jump into Ultimate Madness semifinals. You know, coming up this weekend on Caffeine, URL TV. And let's start since we got Jay.
Yeah.
Since we got Jay right now watching, let's start with that battle, man. Jay versus Rubando. So I mean, who wants to go first?
I'll go first.
All right.
Obviously, I'm pretty sure. I mean, today's what, Wednesday? So
yeah.
So I'm hoping Jay's already done writing. If I was Jay the Nightwing, and I was going to battle Rubando, and I am the favorite by, oh my goodness, bro, like this would be the biggest upset if Rubando pulled this off, bro. But I know the world loves Cinderella stories. But if I was Jay, bro, my thesis for what I'm going to talk to Rubandos about is like, yo, you know how many people would die to be in this position, bro? And you have literally like done everything in your power to lose every battle. It's just that somebody else has obviously been more, you know, trash than you every time. But I think that, man, Jay is has shown the world that like, yo, I can memorize, I can be disciplined in this battle rap thing. And I think he did that last week with Lou Castro. I kind of sense like a different, like he's switching up his whole style. You know what I'm saying? Everyone thought, and I don't know if you guys remember the face-off with Real Sick. He was pushing this thing like, yo, we know how you're gonna rap, and we know what you're gonna do, and we know, you know. And Jay switched it up. You know, he was doing a little double time. He was switching his cadence up. And then with Lou Castro, like adding a little more performance, adding some laughing. He knows when to bring it down, knows when to bring it up, you know what I'm saying, on how to deliver each punchline. And so I think that he is obviously light years ahead of Rubando as far as skill. If Rubando can go in there and keep it and deliver 3 clean rounds, you know what I'm saying? And do something that we have never seen Rubando do, then maybe it might be something different. But I just don't know. Like we've seen, it almost seems like all of us already know, Ru, this is what you're gonna do. And here's the sad thing. I don't think Ru's listening to any of us. Ru's not watching this. Ru's not watching any. I don't think Ru's watched a recap of none of his battles since he started battle rapping. I think he records it and he goes home, and then you know he writes for his next battle. And so I got Jay winning that battle, bro. It should be clear as day, and Jay should have his shot in Nome, and that's gonna whoever he battles in the next round is gonna be a fire battle.
Yeah. All right. So check this out, man. This is as I've been watching the tournaments and as I've been you know, kind of tuned in or whatever. One, am I mistaken? This is 3 weeks prep, right? It didn't happen. Did it happen a week before? Did it happen the same day that Loso? What day was that?
It was 2 weeks. It was 2 weeks. So the one-offs happened last weekend. The prior weekend was the quarterfinals.
Okay. So it is 2 weeks prep. Okay, cool. But regardless of that, so here's the thing about it, and I'm guilty of this too, that I didn't really think it completely through. When we came into this and we're talking about this prep idea or whatever, it's 2 minutes to 2:30 rounds, or are they cutting them off at 2?
It's like 2 minutes, and they give them like a
10 seconds,
20-second grace
right?
period.
So these battles are literally less than 2 rounds of a real URL battle of material. Because most people that are going into URL battles are writing 3 minutes to 3:30 every round. You know what I mean? So that whole idea of Jay and his prep and the choking and stuff, I think it's helped him a lot with these 2-minute rounds, you know, and being able to put things in there. And so I have no worries per se anymore about his memory. What I would say this much is Rubando needs to take all 6 minutes, right, that he's written, and he needs to take every fire bar and put it in one round that's in the first or the second round. He needs to come out and try to steal the first or second round, and then he needs to hope that Jay the Nightwing slips up or chokes in the third.
Yeah.
Like that would be my, you know what I mean? He's not going to beat Jay. He's not going to beat Jay when it comes to, you know, writing 3 rounds. What I would do is I would take every haymaker, every punchline possible, and I would throw it in the first or second, whichever one you're going to do it, and then pray that when that third round comes around, something happens and he stumbles or he can't think of his material. You know what I mean? Like that's the only way that he can possibly steal this battle. You know, it's just the things that Rubando, like the punchlines that he needs 4 bars, 6 bars to lead up to. Jay the Nightwing says them in his opening setup statement before he gets to, you know, like that's just the talent, the gap in the talent level, you know. But I'm not gonna count Rubando completely out because I counted freaking Easy to Block Captain out against Don Marino, and you know, in my defense,
Counted Easy out against Fonz, and Easy won the popular vote.
Well, in my defense, like going into the first round of Don Marino, I hadn't heard Easy in a while. Like Rubando, I've seen 6 rounds from you, and now I'm just like, look, like I don't know. Like I remember when we did our predictions, like before the thing, I said, "Yo, do you hold back haymakers, thinking that you're gonna make it to a certain thing, and then you put them on that?" I don't think Rubando is like held back a whole bunch of crazy bars.
Yeah,
it's rough when the best Rubando bar of the last, you know, month and a half has been Loso's.
Listen, Rubando, hear me good. I hope that Ward is wrong about you and that you are watching recaps. Listen, I don't know if there is an Extreme Makeover Battle Rap edition that can take place between now and this weekend, but my friend, no, you know what? Let me be fair. Rubando had his second round. The Wayne Perry outpost scheme he had, to your honor, was dope. The Mayhem, the YH in the middle of Mayhem bar was nice.
That was a nice bar. That was a nice bar.
You have something to build on. But sir, you are facing an uphill climb of epic proportions.
But you just said it, right? Like, I just want to say this real quick. The visual. Look at Rubando and look at the Mad King. Like, this is literally Simba when he was a kid and Scar. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's literally Simba who's getting ready to pounce on, and then Scar, like, right beside. That's what it's going to look like on camera. Like, it's just
like that.
there's nothing you can say to the Mad King. Like, if I was him, I would wear some like Road Warrior spike shoulder pads like to the ring and just look down at Rubando.
Now, Ward, because and Loso, you might have to look this up too. It doesn't help that Rubando looks like J.J. Evans from Good Times, or Michael Evans from Good Times. You have to look that up to get the comparison I'm making. But if you've seen Good Times and you know what Michael Evans looks like, Rubando looks like Michael Evans. But listen, Bando, you're probably going to die this weekend. And that's okay because you made it to the semifinals. You did the unthinkable. No one thought you were going to be here. That being said, please just give it like Ward said, give us just one round, 2.5 minutes, all fire. I want to walk away.
I want him to rap through the time. I want them to be like time, and he'd be like, "Nah, F that."
No,
nah,
exactly. We need one of those moments from you. I am rooting for you. I want you to at least people walk away and say 2-1, best Rubando we've ever seen. Dope. I don't know how we get there, but good luck to you. All right, so let's jump into the other side of the bracket, semifinal round, Ultimate Madness, Ace versus Fonz. I'm gonna kick this off and I'll throw it over to y'all, man. I like Ace. Ace is, I mean, obviously you guys have a better relationship with him than I do. For what I know, what I've seen, my interactions with him, very nice guy, very intelligent guy, and I don't say that in a what's the word I'm looking for? Not even condescending, pejorative, I guess, way, but he's very well thought out. Very well thought out. You can tell there's strategy and thought behind the things that he does and the moves that he makes, and I respect that. However, his ability to, I mean, he got saved by the bell. He was up against the ropes. That second round against Brooklyn, he was up against the ropes and they called time. He was like, time? Thank you. I appreciate that. I don't see him. He'll have one round. I think from that quarterfinal round, I feel like his third was the round that he was most comfortable with. I think for sure he'll have one round locked in, memorized. It'll be his best round. But I think Fonz, I know he can. So his first rounds have not been his most impactful. He kind of heats up second and third. But I got Fonz taking this one 2-1 and moving on to Gnome. Ward, what you think?
My hope is that I don't think anybody's put pressure on Ace Amin yet from a writing standpoint. I know that none of his opponents have put pressure on him yet from a writing standpoint. I feel like you could beat Bad News and Brooklyn Hands without being on top of your game from a pen standpoint. They're both just not very good writers to me. Period. I'm hoping that when you face somebody like a Fonz, you know that this guy literally can punch you out of the building. He can punch you out of the building very quickly. I just don't think he feared Bad News or Brooklyn Hands. Now, it's always going to come down to the prep with Ace. I mean, like I've mentioned it before, his prep, how he raps, the pace in which he raps. He doesn't use transition statements. He doesn't let things breathe with his delivery. So it a lot of times seems like he's running bars back because that's just how he raps. So it's going to come down to the prep in regards to how he, battles Fonz. I think Ace Amin is a better all-around battle rapper than Fonz. I think that he has all of the tools to beat him, but he's gonna have to put together the perfect game. He's gonna have to be the Ace Amin, that battled Snake Eyes, or not even that. Like, what's the most complete Ace Amin that you've seen so far?
I mean, the Ace Amin that battled Snake Eyes wouldn't beat Fonz, but
Fuse the General?
Nightwing. I would say the Ace Amin that battled Jaden Nightwing probably.
Okay.
Okay.
And even that, he would. Put it this way: this would have to be the best Ace Amin that we've seen.
Okay. Best. So I agree and I disagree because I think Fonz is one-dimensional, and I think one-dimensional.
What I'm saying is that we haven't. Ace Amin hasn't given us a performance on URL that has topped one of Fonz's performances in this tournament, though.
You think so?
I mean, I'm thinking about Snake Eyes. I'm thinking about Swamp. I'm thinking about
Fuse the General. You don't think that?
Oh yeah. I mean, if you go back to his PG, yeah. I think that was fire.
Yeah.
I'm just saying that Ace. I agree with you. Ace is the better all-around battler.
Yeah.
But Ace, this would have to be the best Ace to beat this Fonz that we're seeing right now.
Yeah. Another thing is, I think that dangerous people like, I won't say Jay. This is a weird. So in the big landscape of battle rap, guys like Jay the Nightwing and Fonz are to me like undervalued, underrated, and like the exposure is a little bit like off. You know what I mean? So like this tournament for guys like Fonz, nobody pays attention to the Midwest. A lot of people never even heard of Fonz until this tournament. There's a lot of people in Midwest battle rap that have been known about Fonz. Been saying things. Jay the Nightwing, I think he's from the upper coast of of the West Side. I think he's from like Washington or Oregon.
Federal Way.
Where?
Federal Way.
What's that?
In Washington.
Washington.
Federal
Okay.
Way. Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
Okay. And so he doesn't get like the West Coast, LA, Oakland Bay, LSC. You know what I mean? Like they rock with him because he's a West Coast guy, but he doesn't get that. So I think guys like Fonz, he's coming in like with a chip on his shoulder every single battle. Like Ace Amin has interviews that'll be viewed more than Fonz's battles. You know what I mean? Like Ace kind of has this, so it's going to be a tough battle. I'm pulling for the upset. I'm pulling for Ace Amin to take it. But I think Loso's right. It's going to have to be top-notch Ace Amin, all 3 rounds, no stumbles.
I would also say that, Fonz has to be top-notch. Fonz can't, I thought there was some stuff when he was doing against Easy that was incredible, but then he left the door open a couple. Easy could easily walked away with the W that day. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people felt like he should have. He even won. He won the battle on the app drop. You know what I'm saying? Easy is leading the votes in the app battle. So I think that both of them. But I also think that both of them will do that, and this will possibly be one of the best battles that we've had. So it will be up there with the J and the Real Sick if both of them come with it. Before we move on though, I do want to say this. Backtrack to this Rubando situation. With him being in I guess this is semifinals, right? Has it done anything for Rubando stock?
It's actually made it worse, I think.
Yeah. So it's just odd that Rubando's in the semifinals, but Kid Chaos and Real Sick, who lost first round, you know what I'm saying? Like their stock has obviously elevated 10 times more than Rubando after winning 2 battles.
Well, there's people in this tournament. There's people in this tournament that you knew what had to. You kind of knew, what their stock looked like and how they would perform. There's guys like Jay Kruger. There's guys like Rubando. Guys like Squeako that the jury was completely still out on. And they had this tournament to make or break them. And I think that guys like, Gunpowder Pat, Squeako, even maybe your Honor's got great personality, but Gunpowder Pat, Squeako, and Rubando, like it's inevitably broken them, and so I just don't know, with the appeal of every weekend, which has been great, battle rap every weekend, every Saturday, it's been awesome. Seeing them every weekend and being able to formulate opinions and not waiting 3 or 4 months and be like, oh, that's the guy that did it. You know what I mean? Like it's really like it can be used for something to soar you through the stock, or it can send you back, the other way. And so I just, it sucks, man.
Yeah. Shout out to the comments. Jay said Fonz smokes weed, he be cheating. Shout out to Christopher McLemore said he disagrees. He thinks Brooklyn Hands is a great writer. He just doesn't know how to put together battle bars. I don't know if those 2 things are together.
Well, yeah. I'm obviously talking about battle rap. So Ace Amin wasn't putting out songs against him. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, but I could agree. I'm not saying he's a terrible writer. I'm just saying, like, I would never worry about Brooklyn Hands flipping my name some incredible way that Danny Myers didn't do. You know.
I mean, Danny Myers had the only thing the only what's between oh man, how does it go?
War between
what's between A and D is war in the middle. Like I don't see Hands flipping your name in a better way than that.
Yeah.
Jay says there's no crowd setting hurts some battlers more than others. I wanted to bring that up. I thought that Zando seems like a guy who needs a crowd, and that is going to be. I mean, I'm not sure he can fix that.
I feel the same way with Don Marino. Oh
no, Marino was kind of nice this past weekend. Did you see that battle?
I saw 2 rounds of it, and I mean, he had some good hands flips, a couple good hand flip or whatever, I thought. But it wasn't anything that I thought like that was a better performance than him versus Easy. Like that he would have beat Easy with that. I didn't think.
I don't know. I think he would have beat Easy with that. I think he was better. And I think, especially since he didn't choke in his third. In his third, I mean, he had kind of the struggle, talking about his struggle. And
yeah, I didn't like that, actually. I did not. I watched that. I did not like the like what do you know about being a battle rapper and working a job? Well, it's not, you know what I mean? Like I did not like that. And at all. I didn't like the third round at all.
Oh, man, you just like, I forget the name of the Debbie Downer right now, Ward.
No. And I've tried to do my best to like, people know that like me and Don Marino have a little back and forth, you know, sometimes on social media, and we, you know, and so even then, like, cause I like Don, he's a nice guy and everything. So I try to do my best to not get words twisted and make it seem like I'm just a hater or whatever. But like, I would tell him straight up, like that angle to me, I did not like at all.
I thought it was fire because, you know, he's used to obviously doing this singular struggle, but for the third round angle, he's doing, every battle, like what battle rapper can't relate to this? And so he listed off about 5 or 6 of them, and I thought they were hitting, bro. Like, you know, I mean, and when, you know, he even got to the point of like, you know, a lot of people are going to say like, I lost this battle because I'm not being direct with you. But that's the same reason they gave, you know, Brooklyn Hands the W over you. You know what I'm saying?
Well, like, that's another thing though. Is so he's not in the tournament anymore. You know what I mean? So like it would have been one thing if he was still trying to win something in a judge battle, and he would say he did this and went past. You know, I'm doing this, but
he was calling out the double standard of battle rap for him. Like he was basically saying the hate he's getting, and the reason like you guys will grade Brooklyn Hands away, that you're not necessarily going to grade me, and he was trying to expose that. So
yeah, okay, we can agree to disagree. I didn't like him going at champion. I didn't understand if he was saying like I don't know who he was talking to. Like who was he talking to and saying, what do you know about working a job and your boss wondering why you're talking to yourself? Like who was he talking to?
I think he was talking to Hands.
But like a lot, I would argue that a lot of battle rappers have jobs. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, I mean, I would argue that I wouldn't say like most of them or whatever, but like I don't think it is a very like I'm doing something nobody else is doing. You know, the reason why it related to so many people, the reason why you heard people say, yeah. You know what I mean? Like, is because they know that feeling too. So I guess maybe that's just why I didn't understand it. So.
All right. So we only got a couple of minutes left. We're going to get out of here. Short show tonight. We'll try to reconvene where we can hang out and chat with everybody a little bit longer. Shout out to everybody in the comments on Facebook Live. Shout out to people on YouTube as well who are watching. Shout out to Chris Cobbins, who is not a Marino fan. I mean, okay. All right. Anyway, I'm not about to argue with y'all about that.
I actually have about 18 minutes. So if we need a little bit more, I got until like 10 after. I don't know what Loso's got.
I'm good.
All right, cool. So then I won't jump into the NBA. We'll say that for the last thing on our way out the door. So are you guys want to talk about Bubba Wallace and NASCAR?
Yeah.
All right, cool. Yeah. So let's get into it. So, you know, breaking story over the weekend. Bubba Wallace, who is, I believe, I know for sure he's the only black NASCAR driver. I don't know if he's the only minority full-time NASCAR driver on the circuit right now. So they go to Talladega. rain cancels the race on Sunday, gets postponed to Monday. Bubba Wallace did not find it. A member of his crew finds a noose in his garage by his car, that is hung in his garage by his car. They alert NASCAR. NASCAR issues a statement, a blistering statement, saying that they condemn this action. They don't, racism will not be tolerated. If they find out who did it, they're going to be fired, so on and so forth. The FBI gets involved because it's a possible hate crime. And they do a report. Report comes out today that the noose, or either today or yesterday, comes out that the noose was there, has been there for over a year. It was not placed there on purpose. And, you know, there's no hate crime, but it was indeed a noose, right? I think it's the pull handle they use for their garage doors, but this one was not like the other ones. It was in the shape of a noose. And so that has caused a lot of polarizing response during this whole thing. People who are pro Bubba Wallace and, you know, pro NASCAR doing what they can to rid any traces of racism within the sport. And then people who think that it is a hoax. This is a kind of it's a complicated story. But Loso, I'll start with you, man. What do you think about this story with Bubba?
It's very odd, man. Very weird, just with what's transpiring. But I do want to say this, man. Everybody, I don't know if you saw Bubba Wallace's post today, but you know, he's clarifying. He's basically saying, "Hey, thank God it wasn't what we thought it was going to be." And so, but everybody's just like, "Oh, you lied. You did this so that, you know, you go ahead and create this sense, this emotionalism behind your movement, yada yada, all this stuff." But here's what people are forgetting, though. There were things that were already transpiring before this noose was found in the garage, right? Bubba Wallace comes in, that Confederate flag gets taken down, right? People are outraged. There was a freaking protest about it. You know what I'm saying? All these people with the Confederate flags. On top of that, a NASCAR driver literally quits the sport. He quits the sport because the flag isn't allowed inside, or the flag isn't allowed anymore. So boom, he quits the sport. We know that he definitely was getting death threats already, and we know that he was receiving obviously racial slurs and all this stuff over the social media. Then I know you just said this, A1. I don't know if it was part of his team or somebody, but Bubba Wallace did not see the noose, right? Somebody else reported it from his team. But no matter what, like, what we do have is that the president of NASCAR, he even was on record that he went to Bubba Wallace with tears, like he's feeling sad about this, right? And he's apologizing to Bubba Wallace. Bubba Wallace didn't see the news, nothing like that. Boom, this all comes out. I just think that, first of all, I don't know how these things get shaped into a noose like that. I mean, that didn't necessarily make sense to me. I don't know. I know you also explained to me earlier, A1, that how it works is like the garage, like you're not in a specific garage for your whole time, right? Like you just get hit around.
So it's based on, so I did some research on it. It's based on your
hit.
I think it's based on how your standings, like where you are in the standings or something like that. So he was randomly assigned that, right? Like it was not one of those where they were just like, "Oh yeah, here's a noose. Hey Bubba, won't you, have your car docked here?" So yeah, randomly assigned.
So I just don't like that they're pushing the Jussie Smollett narrative here, right? Like that Bubba Wallace tied it himself. Hey guys, look what it is, and then now we're gonna go run with it. I don't think that's what Bubba. I mean, I don't know about Bubba. I just learned about who he was, so I hope that that's not something that would be in his character to go ahead and do. But I am furious. I'm infuriated with everything that's been going on, with all of the narratives that's being pushed, all the comments that I'm reading, bro, saying that, yo, you need to go ahead and just apologize to everybody, yada, yada, yada. He didn't do anything wrong. He didn't do anything wrong, bro. It was what it was. And unfortunately, the bigger picture of unity, the bigger picture of what transpired with all the NASCAR race, you know what I'm saying? They're pushing this car and they're all coming together and they're saying, hey, we support you. We support Black Lives Matter. We support all this stuff. That is now being swept under the rug. And the bigger issue now is people, they were waiting for something. They were waiting for a stain on Bubba Wallace. They found one, and now they're going to go ahead and drop this to the ground. So I'm kind of pissed off with that, bro.
All right, Ward.
Man, you guys didn't really leave me too much. From somebody who like grew up watching NASCAR, I learned how to count by Rick Mass, Rusty Wallace, Dale Earnhardt, Terry Labonte, Mark Martin. Like that, I learned 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 by the NASCAR drivers that drove those cars. I can tell you, you know, like it's the one sport per se that anything that was going to happen, you know, racially, you know, it was gonna come with a lot of angry, upset, pissed off rednecks, you know, and it's such a hypersensitive, you know, time. And I mean, just look at what we're talking about. We're talking about Bubba Wallace, who is the only, you know, African American black guy that races. You know, I think at one point in time. No,
not ever.
I don't ever. I think at one point in time, if I'm not mistaken, Magic Johnson owned there was a basketball player that owned
Brad Daugherty.
Brad Daugherty. Okay, excuse me. I don't know how I got them two mixed up. But yeah, so you know, it comes out, it's fresh off of, you know, the Confederate flag being banned at all events, which is I mean, that's like in NASCAR, that's like telling, you know, I can't even think of a parallel right now, but it's a lot bigger than what it is with people saying, hey, Mississippi State or stop. In NASCAR, the Confederate flag is to me, it's like it's a big deal. Just knowing, you know, the type of people that watch and attend NASCAR events.
So can I make this analogy? You tell me if you agree or disagree. Telling NASCAR fans that they can't have the Confederate flag is like telling you no more Dr. Pepper.
It's like saying no hats in a battle rap event.
No goods.
It might not. No hats. Period. Like people got to show their hairlines. Like it literally will turn that many people. You know, like that's just. I mean, that's just the nature of, you know, that beast. You know, I too was like, man, I really hope this is not a situation that sets back everything. You know, I've heard a lot of people speaking out on a lot of the changes that people are just up and coming and making known. The gator bait chomp at Florida, the different things where people are like, man, now we feel like people are just doing things to say that they did something, you know? And I was hoping that like that whole NASCAR situation wasn't just another, you know, I was hoping that it was genuine. And so when you say like, I didn't read the article where the president came to him with tears in his eyes, and I saw some of the video snips of some of the race car drivers coming up to him and hugging him and different things or whatever. Like, I hope there's a genuine want and need for change there. I too do not know. I would be interested to know what the rope looks like on a pull door on all the other ones, you know? Like, it's just a wild coincidence for me to think that the only, you know, black guy that races NASCAR went into the only garage that had a rope in the shape of a, you know what I mean? Like that just doesn't a week after all, you know, I don't know. It just doesn't line up to me. But for the most part, man, it's frustrating. It's frustrating. But I am proud. I'm proud of Bubba Wallace. I'm proud of what he's been standing for. I'm proud. I mean, I can only imagine, like, if he came and had this idea of this, you know, Confederate flag and getting it, like what some of his peers said when he asked them advice on bringing it, you know, like, ooh, don't do that, you know, like, so I'm proud of him standing for it. But yeah, it's just disgusting, man. It's just a disgusting thing if that was actually something, you know, that is being lied about. But it's the FBI said it's been there since last year. I don't know how I mean, it's such a coincidence, and I don't believe it, but I don't know how you would say that, you know, they're covering it up or something. So
I find out that the noose was there since last year.
I guess through surveillance, right? Because I mean, they have cameras in the garage, so it's surveillance. So they said it was placed there last year. So so from what I understand from the report, it was definitely a noose. It is definitely not like the other pull handles that they have in these garages. It was definitely put together in the shape of a noose. but it has been there since at least the last time they were at the track. And so, yeah. So that's kind of what the FBI is finding on it. Shout out to Chris. Chris said it's like telling Twerk he can't wear hoodies. Shout out to 83. Thank you for joining us. And shout out all the way from Africa, apparently. At least that's what they're saying. Someone on YouTube saying they're watching from Africa. So we appreciate you. I'll say this about the Bubba Wallace situation. I think that the Bubba Wallace situation says more about us than it does about him, at least for what we know right now, right? Like I talked about the polarizing times we live in, where people are saying that this is an indictment of the media because they ran with this narrative. And it's just like in NASCAR, because NASCAR was just so sure it was an act of racism. And I'm going, well, guys, NASCAR has a history of complicated issues with race and racism. Like this isn't like this is the first time racism has touched the shores of NASCAR. Like there's a complicated history here. So if you have a history of lying and cheating and your name gets caught up in a scandal of lying and cheating, then what am I supposed to think? Right? Like I can only go by what your history says you are and what your actions have been in the past. So, I don't mind NASCAR stance. I don't mind, because I think for NASCAR, especially since this is a time where there's only people who are around or people who are affiliated with NASCAR and or teams, you have to send a strong message that says, yo, we're not going to have this. And if we find out it was you, you're out of here. Mm-hmm. Right. So I would rather, the other analogy I make is that I work in a mailroom. I supervise a mailroom. I have had suspicious packages placed on my desk. Like 10 times out of 10, I don't work in a place that is visible where people are going to be trying to threaten us and harm us in that way. But 10 times out of 10, I felt like this was nothing. 10 times out of 10, I was right. But that doesn't mean that I don't get to treat that thing once it hits my desk or once I'm alerted to it with any level of seriousness that it deserves. Right. And so at worst, I'm contacting at best, I'm contacting my internal security team. At worst, the FBI could be in my headquarters within minutes, and so you have to treat it with that level of seriousness. And then if you have to walk it back, then you got to walk it back. But, NASCAR had to come out and put out a statement and be strong, because if that story gets leaked somehow, now NASCAR is no longer in control of the story now. Now they're playing catch up. They're on defense. Right. They had to do that. And when I say this says more about us than it does about NASCAR or Bubba Wallace in general, because we come armed, ready to have our biases confirmed. Right. For those who watch NASCAR, they come in saying, well, of course it's going to happen in NASCAR. Look at their history. Right. And then for those who, want to maybe say, well, we don't have a problem with racism here. We don't have a problem with race here. They come armed with, was Bubba Smollett, right? It's Jussie Wallace, right? And I too, Loso, I hope that that's not the case. Now, if it turns out that he is complicit in this and somehow he planted it, which obviously the FBI has cleared him of that with their own investigation, then yeah, you can ridicule the guy, you can come after the guy. But the fact that we can't treat this issue as nuance and go, we thought this was really bad. Thank God it's not. Let's continue to press forward in unity and with diversity in NASCAR. Like that says a lot about us. And I'm gonna say this. Hey, are we coming back to NASCAR? Because I'm from the South too. I got family that grew up racing dirt bikes and racing hot rods and all that stuff. Like I cried when Emerson Fittipaldi wrecked Al Unser Jr. on the last lap of the Indy 500. I think that's 1989, 1990. Like I cried when that happened. That's also Formula One, though. No, that's Indy open wheel, not Formula One. Okay. I rock with Michael Schumacher back in the day. Yeah. I have a history of watching racing, so I've gotten away from heavily watching NASCAR like I used to when I was a kid. But hey, let's get this coronavirus out the way. I'm cool to go, set up and do some grilling. Do you feel like NASCAR definitely handled it the correct way? I think you have to. I think you have to, because again, he's the only black guy there. Right. And you have to protect that guy in that way. It's also a testament. I mean, because when have they ever had to deal with anything racial before? They don't have any
well, this is what we did last time, because there's not ever these situations because the sport is 99.5 male white. You know what I mean? So,
Yeah.
but I got to jump off, man. I'm sorry about that, guys. I got to jump off. I got to do a couple things. I'm going to let you guys finish the rest of the show. Okay, man?
Well, we can go ahead and shut it down here. That was the last thing I want to get to.
All right, bro.
Yo, so I thank you guys for watching. Like I said, it's going to be a short show. We'll come back next week. We can hang around a little bit longer. Until next time, it's been a black and white thing. I'll holler at y'all, man. Y'all be easy. Let me get this.